the title.
After 18 years, the drought ended. The trophy finally found its home with Virat Kohli and RCB. The challenge now, repeat the feat, defend the crown. Rajat Patidar has a date with destiny. Win again and enter the Hall of the Immortals, an elite club of back-to-back winners. The stage is set for King Kohli to reclaim his throne in red and gold. Last year was about different heroes. This year is about a new strategy, a new game plan. RCB is ready to show the world their pride once again. And they are back to hunt for the crown. Who else will help us on that? Anil Kumble Irfan Pathan, getting a chance to know RCB a little bit better for this season. Irfan, the obvious question is, when they return to this season as champions, there is one player who's worn that jersey for all those seasons, who continue to do it again, has let go of two formats, but is flourishing in the one-day format. We all know I'm talking about Virat Kohli. Now that he has that trophy in his hands in a very emotional manner, the hunger, the desire, the passion for this season, what does it entail?
I think it will be there. It will be there. He will be very hungry again. He would want to actually make it 2-2 as well. We have seen that when he played for India, especially in the one-day series. He looked like he wants to make an impact in every game. I think he will have the same kind of passion when he comes back in this season to lift the trophy once again.
There's some great players who've led RCB, including Anil Kumble, who led them to a final in 2009. And all of this, Anil, and there's a young boy from Madhya Pradesh who comes and leads RCB to their first ever title, Rajat Patidar. What has, in your estimation, been the definition of his captaincy? And also, how does he continue to now go to the trend of trying to win back-to-back titles?
Yeah, it's not going to be easy winning back-to-back titles. I think there's been only one team which has done that. It's not going to be that simple, but I think he's done well in the first season. I don't think when he was nominated, the captain, all of us were a bit taken aback. Rajat Patidar, yes, he had the experience of captaining Madhya Pradesh, did well in domestic cricket. He was identified as the skipper for RCB. I thought with the experience, and I thought he led really well. I mean, in terms of the usage of those resources that he had with the bowling lineup. Ultimately, RCB put together a really strong bowling unit. Their spinners sort of came to the party, and that to me was the differentiation. And Rajat, I thought, really led well. So it will be challenging for him because the expectations now will be, okay, you're defending champions, you won once, now you need to win twice. It's not going to be that easy, but he looks a very composed and very calm under pressure. That is his USP, so that should work for him, I'm sure.
One of the other things, I guess, was different about this RCB unit was it wasn't just about the over-reliance on Virat Kohli. There were other Indian batters that stood up to the plate, to the responsibility. Devdutt Padikkal, you speak about domestic form. He just has not stopped scoring the runs at all. So he will enter the season, considering he was injured halfway through the last, with the serious intention of making India selectors notice him as well.
Yeah, absolutely. Look, he's scoring runs, left, right and centre. He's actually had a really good season last year, domestic as well. He's scoring runs. Look, he's improved. It looked like that he's improved his game as well. There was a time where he was struggling. He was getting out LBW, who was actually blocking himself as well. Playing probably too early as well. Playing on the leg side too much as well. But actually, that's talking point of the past. Now he's a different player. He's a very confident player as well. What I really like about RCB, as you said, is as well, before there were only 2 or 3 guys before. Now you talk about playing 11 is ready. Absolutely, yes. They have going into the season. They have some injury concern. It's a major concern they have, especially with Hazelwood. How good he will come. There are things are there as well, but they still have good backups. They still have good backups. Look at Venkatesh Iyer coming into the squad this season. That will have a good backup position as well as, obviously they won't want to have him in the playing 11. But they have solid backups as well. So that makes them even more stronger. I
guess that leads me to the next question. Does Venkatesh Iyer become more than a backup? Because it's 2 seasons now and 2 auctions that RCB have seriously expected a desire for him. So is he in your 11?
Not the starting 11. I don't think he would be, because you would still want the same starting 11. Devdutt Padikkal, who you mentioned, should play in the 11. He missed out on the last couple of important games for RCB because of injury. He's in outstanding form. So he will certainly take that role of that impact player. Suyash Sharma and him, sort of Devdutt batting and then Suyash probably bowling. That was how they had structured last season's lineup. So in that lineup, unlikely unless they sort of look to go that extra batter sort of thing at the start of the season, depending on how everyone's hitting the ball in the nets and probably pre-game, pre-season practice matches that you sort of see. Otherwise, I don't see him in that starting lineup. I doubt, but he's a wonderful guy to have in the squad, because any moment you want to bring in an experienced batter, he's there for you, and he's a left-hander. So he's a like-to-like for a Devdutt.
Tim David, Shepherd, I don't know if they can both play at the same time. Krunal Pandya, the Baroda boy, he's got the power. There's some power to finish off an innings.
Yeah, absolutely. I think they'll play together. Romario Shepherd, Tim David, it's a must for them. If you look at it, both the guys, they can finish the game really well. They can bowling as well. Yes, there will be, a lot of talk about how they're going to go about it as far as the Jacob Bethel is concerned. But Phil Stolt definitely will start. Hazelwood, if he's fit, he definitely starts. And then the two spot for the overseas will be between Tim David and Romario Shepherd. Look, it makes them really strong. It makes their batting lineup very long as well. It gives them the extra bowling option in Romario Shepherd. But the real problem lies in this RCB side this season is availability of a fast bowler, availability of Josh Hazelwood as well. How good he comes back after the injury as well. If they are fit and fine, there is no problem. But I'll be keeping a close eye on their bowling lineup. Batting, I'm not worried about at all.
Are you at all concerned looking at the spin attack?
No, nothing. I mean, will they be able to replicate that form? I mean, that's the only concern, because at the Chinnaswamy Stadium, it's not easy. Sort of back-to-back IPL tournaments, having the same two spinners having a great time at the IPL. Kunal is an experienced bowler, so he should be fine. Suresh, people have sort of, yes, last season was a great season for him. Will he be able to back it up? The expectations of these two spinners, will they be able to back it up? I think will be the only sort of concern for RCB. Otherwise, I think not much has changed from the champion side of last year to this year.
Well, Irfan's mentioning it, so we'll bring up the squad again, because the main thing, so much of their title ambitions and the fact that they won the title was because of the sheer brilliance of Josh Hazelwood. Every final he's ever appeared in, Irfan, he's managed to get a trophy. If he is not fit and firing this season, that who fills that void, not just in terms of the 4 overs, but the experience that he brings?
Look, Josh Hazelwood's experience, obviously, you will not be able to get from anywhere. And especially what he was doing really well last year, that he was actually bowling really well with the new ball. Whenever the time comes for the Yorkers, he was actually hitting the Yorkers pretty well as well. And he was actually getting high-class in-form batters out. That's the kind of form you want from your fast bowler. The only other guy you see is Nuwan Tushara. Nuwan Tushara, obviously, slingy action, but the experience, is it the same? And the kind of calmness you require to bowl different phases of the, of the game. I have my doubt as well. I think if you just show me the squad again, they went for one more fast bowler.
Jacob Duffy is there.
Jacob Duffy is there, but I'm not sure, how well he'll be do it, because when he came to India in the World Cup, I'm not sure New Zealand was very keen for him to play in the playing 11. But they went for another young fast bowler as well in the auction. So I think it was Mangesh. They went after. They went for, I think, 5.5 CR. They wanted to have a replacement for Yash Dayal as well. Inexperience again. So you win matches, you win tournament, you want to have those experienced guys in your rank. So replacement wise, I feel RCB is slightly thin.
The question we ask every season, can they contain conditions at the Chinnaswamy? That will be the biggest question.
Yeah, it will be. They've done well. I mean, last season was an example. At the end of it, you don't need to think about home and away. You just need to win 8 or 9 matches. So that's what you need to think. Yes, if the home ground becomes a fortress, like how MI have created, how CSK
with the new Anil Kumble end?
Yeah, possibly at the Pavilion end, yes. Yeah, but bowlers at the Chinnaswamy Stadium I mean, they generally don't have a great time. It's not easy bowling at the Chinnaswamy Stadium. Like how Mumbai have created their fortress, how Chennai have done that. I think RCB needs to start thinking on those lines. You need to control your home venues, and that's something that I'm sure they'll be really thinking of and seriously considering how you could start winning consistently at home.
Focusing on the overseas, the 4 overseas that are certain for you as well?
Yes, Phil Shaw, definitely yes. Mario and Tim David and Josh as well. These are my 4 overseas. Pretty much the same batting lineup, and those 12 if you're talking about from the last season. I want to see how they get the left-hander in this playing 12. That will be Venkatesh Iyer. That will be the case because he will be actually coming and ready to go in this kind of pitch in Bangalore. He wants to do well, but by doing that, they should not put too much pressure on Patikal.
All right, fair enough. So that could be the possible first 11 for RCB, who return to the field as the holders, as the champion. Can they retain it? However, the IPL season gets underway right here on this network. We can't wait to see you then. Thank you for keeping us company today. I'll see you next time.